Anyway, the editor of an Irish newspaper is defending his decision to publish topless photographs of the Duchess of Cambridge because of her status as a celebrity.
The royals say that the publication has been driven by greed. The paper's co-owner, Richard Desmond, has threatened to shut it down.
Well, the pictures have generated sales and publicity for the paper, but was it worth it? Well, Richard Hillgrove is a former advertising controller for Northern and Shell Media, the group that co-owns the paper. He joins us now. Good morning to you. Well, is it worth it? Is it ever worth it?
I don't think it's worth it in this instance. Obviously, with the sensitivity around privacy, the Irish editor is acting completely alone, and he's gone completely rogue. So I think, you know, without any sort of management responsibility, he's just gone off and just done this, basically.
Richard Desmond, who you used to work with, has immediately distanced himself from this. What should he do next?
I think he's done the right thing in terms of his original, his statement. He wants to shut it down. I don't think realistically he's going to shut it down. It's obviously one of the most successful papers in the Republic of Ireland. I think what he needs to do is look at dealing with this as a personality issue with Mike O'Kane, relatively new editor. He only started in November last year, obviously trying to make a name for himself and acting completely alone, and isolate him and look for his resignation.
The British press have very pointedly not published these photos. Can you see any change in that?
Well, absolutely not, and I think that's why everyone's absolutely abhorred that this would happen in the Republic of Ireland. I mean, the statement from the editor is completely isolated in the sense he was comparing the Duchess of Cambridge to Rihanna or Lady Gaga, which is ludicrous for any editor to say anywhere. And the only other place that these pictures look like they're going to surface are publications owned by Silvio Berlusconi, which is no big surprise. So that's Closer in France and now Chi over in Italy, is both under Silvio Berlusconi. But this guy here is completely rogue. Obviously, Richard Desmond has spent a long time since purchasing Express newspapers to build a very good relationship with the royal family. Prince Philip opened the Northern and Shell Tower. The royal family support his charities. So this is obviously absolutely abhorrent for him, and he needs to distance himself, hence the move to close the paper. But I don't think that closing the paper is the solution over something like this. It's definitely a personality issue with an editor acting alone.
I mean, Richard, it's all fascinating to see the British press take the moral high ground. They haven't always been in that position. Is this a sort of post-Leveson climate?
I think completely. I think the newspaper market, everyone's shell-shocked and everyone's paranoid to do anything, and obviously testing the privacy issue with the Duchess of Cambridge is the last thing anyone needs, because obviously everyone wants a relaxation on the rules, and something like this just clams it all up again, basically. You're going to see a situation where this guy in Ireland's condemned, and obviously Richard Desmond's worried now that a legal action will go against the paper that he co-owns. So he needs to distance himself. But the whole British media, there's no appetite to behave like this, particularly with the Duchess of Cambridge. I mean, it's the last thing on anyone's minds whatsoever. Fascinating.
Richard Hillgrove, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
Still to come in the programme in the next half hour.
Oh, Victoria Pendleton takes the gold medal. She is the Olympic